Hi, welcome back to another segment of Ask Nina. Thank you again for joining us today. I have a super special guest with us today. I feel so fortunate that he has agreed to come on to our show and chat with us because, as you know, Chinese New Year is just around the corner. It's actually a couple of weeks away, just over a couple of weeks away now. And I've spoken about Feng Shui quite a bit in the past, but I am by no means a master. And we've lucked out today. Master Ying has agreed to join us today, so we're very, very fortunate to have him here. So let me just tell you a little bit about Master Ying, and then we're going to get into chatting. And if you have any questions at all, make sure that you put it in the chat while you're watching live, or whether you're watching the replay. Make sure you put it in there. If I can't answer them for you, I will make sure I'll reach out to Master Ying and have him provide us with the insight and the answers, okay? So, about Master Ying. Master Ying has practiced the ancient Chinese geomancy and astrology since the mid-1980s. His scope of work covers many walks of life and nationalities and helps to guide many individuals and businesses to prosper. Master Ying serves customers in over 66 countries and over 38 builders across Canada. He is the chief geomancer. I hope I said that right.
That means Feng Shui master.
Okay. For many significant businesses and establishments. He is an internationally renowned Feng Shui master. His knowledge in Feng Shui and life reading has provided answers to many people and improved their life situation. Master Ying is a scholar and a philosopher as well. He is a devoted teacher and a man of positive energy. In his spare time, which I don't believe that he has much of, he teaches Tai Chi and Qigong. So we welcome Master Ying. Thank you so much. What a privilege it is to have you here with us today. I know that this is a super busy time for you with the Lunar New Year just around the corner. So welcome.
Thank you, Nina. It's very nice to see you all. It's once a year now, so happy Chinese New Year.
Thank you so much. I just for our audience, I wanted to let you know I met Master Ying a couple of years, just over 2 years ago. We had the privilege of him coming to our home when we moved into our new home. He came and gave us a reading and provided us with some recommendations and suggestions to improve the flow, the functionality, and the energy, the chi energy in our new home. So I've implemented, I think, everything. I've kept his notes. I go back and I read it quite often. So I'm so grateful that he's here today and to share his knowledge. So I know that this year is the year of the ox, Master Ying. What will the year of the ox have in store for us?
Well, this year is not just an ox year. It's called metal ox. And so it's what we call between yin and yang. This is a yin year. And last year, 2020, was the worst year in our lifetime we could ever experience. Okay. And I did the prediction for 2020 back in July 2019.
I read that. Yeah. I read that. And I actually got goosebumps because when I read your predictions usually in January. And when I read your prediction for 2020, I know that you wrote it in July of 2019, yeah. Right? You wrote in 2019. And anyway, one of the things that I still remember today is in your 2020 prediction was that there was going to be respiratory ailments.
And air transmitted germs and mental illnesses, 3 major illnesses.
Right. Oh my gosh. Was that ever true?
Natural disasters worldwide.
Right. So with the year of the metal ox being a yin year, was 2020 a yin year also, or a different?
2020 is extreme yang metal and extreme yin water. So you got two extremities together. And together with the fact that the life cycle for 2020 was a 7 cycle. Then the big cycle, 20-year cycle, is a 8 cycle. So the 7 relative to 8 is a receding number, meaning warring, troubles, instabilities, and warring among countries, blaming, finger pointing. Looks like everything happened in 2020.
Did it ever? Did it never?
Yeah.
But so is 2021 a better year?
Significantly better year, but the wound will take some time to heal. The real turnaround point is about May this year.
May, okay.
May, because May happens to be the lucky month for 2021.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So
All right.
the significant change won't happen until then. But before then, we still have a spike. The spike will happen in March, most likely.
In March.
Before
Worse than now. Worse than now.
We are not in March yet. So February will be a little ups and downs.
Right.
I think the major problem of all these happenings is the too much politics. If the world didn't go through all this political turmoil and try to cooperate together like for humanity's sake, this virus would have been long gone.
Right, right.
Yeah,
yes.
And also they haven't learned from SARS. And China was
no, they didn't. No, we didn't. Not they, we.
Yeah. China learned it from SARS. They knew how serious it is. Whenever it's contagious illness, if you don't know any other way, the most efficient way is to quarantine. So that because the way virus works is it transmits. But if it has nowhere to go, it dies down after a cycle.
Right.
That's why quarantine works. But you have to do it very early. Now, a lot of people like Mr. Trump tried to finger point China, which is not fair. China happened to be the one that announced it first. But actually this thing had been all over the world much, much earlier. As early as the end of 2019. Now, where would this come from? Based on my calculations, it's actually not from any one country. It actually was the ancient virus, which went through generations of transmutation, that got released from the icebergs in both the North Pole and South Pole. Because between 2019 and 2020, the world went through tremendous heating process. So a lot of icebergs melted. And together with the fact that the ozone layer got the thinnest, the biggest hole in the ozone layer, so a lot of electromagnetic forces also enter from the universe in combination with the melting of the icebergs and the releasing of the virus. That's why countries in the northernmost and the southernmost got hurt the most. Look at Russia, look at Northern Europe. Look at the Eskimos.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to talk about politics today. We're just going to talk about all the good stuff.
It's the Eskimos will not visit other people won't visit them. Where would they get the virus from?
Right, yeah.
Looking at scientifically.
Global travel allows the virus to travel a lot more. But let's talk about...
now, 2021 is different.
Right.
Because
but now, you said that the turning point is in May. Yes, are we looking at early May, mid-May, end of May?
I would say after May 8th, after May 7th.
Okay, so around the second week of May.
Yeah. Now, the reason why I am more bullish on 2021, after, God forbid, the worst being gone or gradually gone, because the governing number for 2021 is 6. And 6 is a mobility number. 6 is a positive number. 6 is more to do with money.
Okay.
So
what are you saying that? Are you saying that 2021 6 is a better number than 8?
Than 7.
And then 7.
Than
okay.
7. Yeah. 8 is a controlling number.
Okay.
Okay. So 1 digit down is the worst. 2 digit down is better. And 6 and 8 together means money. That's why a lot of Chinese people love the combination 168.
That is true. That is true. So what would you recommend that people do this year to sort of promote family well-being and health?
Now, as I said, we should all have learned a lesson from 2020 that we had to learn to unite more, the family values. The problem is a lot of people may already have got the mental illnesses. Hopefully they learn to be more positive. So for 2021, once this lockdown eases off, when the travel is allowed again, it's very important to be mobile again, to come out and meet people. It's very important that people cannot be isolated too long. We are human. Okay, we are group creatures. Group creatures should not be locked up for too long.
So, but while we continue to be, I guess, observing social distancing over the next few months and probably well into the summer months, what would you say, like how can people apply Feng Shui principles to help with family health, family and mental health and physical health, actually?
Now, several things to keep in mind. For the good Feng Shui in the home, number one, we should maximize the lighting. Lighting is very important, because if you constantly live in a place very dark with dim, mentally you go crazy.
Yeah, no, that is true. That's true.
Probably should change all the lights to the energy savers or to the LEDs.
Okay. That's a good point.
Yeah, to allow more light throughout the daytime. Okay, number one. Number two, have more airflow, so don't be too stuffy. Lighting number one, airflow number two.
Yeah, that's a little bit sometimes difficult these days with the winter months, and you can't open the doors and windows.
Even if you don't open the walls, you can have some ventilators inside the home, like I use the fan, so have some air circulating.
Just to circulate.
Circulation makes a difference. And number three, also look after those sickness centers this year. Now, there are two major sickness centers in the house for 2021. One is the Center North End. Okay, so Center North End is the sickness center. You want to kind of defeat the center. How do you do that? Several ways. You can use the Chinese treated butternut squash.
Right.
Or you can use a wind chime with 6 ticks on it, on the north corner of the house. And so to minimize the chance for sicknesses. So
when you say the north center of the house, it is the direction that the front door faces the north?
No, not necessarily. Every house may face different directions, so just locate this north center end of the house.
Okay, so the north end of the house.
Exactly. Not necessarily the entrance.
I see.
Obviously, if the entrance is north, it's more serious, because that will be the sickness center.
Right.
Okay, be more careful. But the most serious center is southeast.
The southeast. So I'm going to write this down.
Okay.
North and southeast, right?
Yeah, southeast is called the 5 Yellow Center. 5 Yellow Center is a very serious center. In my many years in Feng Shui, I discovered a little secret, and I've done it a few times and discovered it. Is if someone has always been living in a bedroom designated as a 5 Yellow Center, and they live there for a few years, they have a huge chance to contract cancer.
Oh my! So what are you saying, that if people the southeast corner is the bedroom?
Is a bedroom, then you have to do something. Either you move your bedroom if you don't need to live there, or if you need to live there, you need to do something.
Some fixes.
And if there's a window, then you can hang a 5-tick wind chime on the window. Okay.
What is the importance of wind chimes and crystals in Feng Shui?
Yeah, wind chime. Not all wind chimes work the same. The wind chime had to be metal, like aluminum. most wind chimes that make the aluminum, they make a nice sound. Number one, because the 5 yellow force and the sickness force are both earth energy. So you need the metal energy to deflect it.
I see.
Okay, so that's the main reason. Now, so wind chimes are for the diffusion of energy. Okay, whereas crystal is the other way. Crystal is a collection of energy.
Okay.
But crystals have two different kinds. One is balls, like a round crystal. The other is pointed crystal. And the purpose is quite opposite. So round crystal is a pure crystal to collect energy. So you want to put it in a good energy center to collect that kind of energy. Whereas the pointed crystal, like a prism, is to diffuse or deflect or to beat up the bad energy.
Okay.
Okay, so for example, in the 5 yellow center southeast, if you don't like wind chimes, some people are kind of crazy about wind chimes, some are afraid of wind chimes. You can use crystal prisms instead.
Oh, that's a great tip. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Use pointed things to fight off negative energy. Use round things to collect positive energy.
Yes, so where there's positive things happening that you want to keep and store, you use a round.
Because after all, in doing Feng Shui, I still think health is still number one.
Of course.
Yeah, you don't want to move in a house and everybody gets sick. You don't want that.
Right. Absolutely. Like and that was one of the primary reasons that we had you at our home. And because it's a brand new home and brand new build, vacant land, we wanted to make sure that, our family was going to be healthy and well in this new home. So thank you very much for that. So I also wanted to ask you, for some of our viewers who are not quite as familiar with Feng Shui, what would you say is the core belief of Feng Shui?
Now, Feng Shui is the method. It's a very mathematical. Nothing to do with astrology, nothing to do with religions or superstitions. It's a pure science by itself. It had to be calculated. So Feng Shui originated from I Ching. I Ching is a book of changes. That was written 5,000 years ago, China. Then you can say I Ching, the book of changes, is the first human computer ever created. Because I Ching is strictly yin and yang. So it's strictly 0 and 1. That's it. Nothing more than that.
Just like a computer.
It is a computer. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, with that in mind, then it creates all kinds of math behind it. And then over years of calculation, many masters went by in history. And they initially is empirical system. That is from practice found, this way works, this way doesn't work. So they found out in conclusion why this works and why this doesn't work. And over years, over generations, they come up with a popular school. In fact, there are 5 major schools of Feng Shui over China's history. Okay, basically it is divided into 2 major shapes. One is the shape of things that affect energy. The other is the timings. So it's called time and material. Okay, that constitutes Feng Shui. And I belong to that school too. Now, so timing meaning everything on earth is not permanent. Everything goes in cycles. Nobody is going to be wealthy forever. Nobody is going to be poor forever. If they understand the rule, they know the timings, they can actually turn things around and minimize bad things. So that's the timing. And so in the case of house, in the case of business, timing also determines where the centers are. So today, the power center for money could be in point A, but sometime later it could be in point B. So it's not permanent. Just like
so it can change.
Exactly, it's a change. And and shapes are more obvious. Okay, shapes, for example, how does energy work? Energy will congregate by objects, especially pointing objects, and we transmit back out. So, for example, if we're sitting like this, and in front of us is always a pointed point, like the corner wall. You know what? You even if you close your eyes, you feel some energy coming, and eventually you don't feel right. You feel wrong, and things always go negative. So that's because of the shape of things can affect how energy works.
Well, I completely get what you're saying and what you're sharing here, because sometimes I sit in my own home, and when something doesn't feel right, it just doesn't feel right, and I keep looking at it and I keep looking at it until I can't handle it anymore, and I get up and I move it or change it, because it like I really believe that when something doesn't sit right in your gut, that it's telling you that it needs to get changed.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. So shapes are more obvious. I give you a live example. 1994, Markham had an election and Don Cousins got in. And when he asked me to Feng Shui the mayor's office, and from that year on, Markham been flying high in 1994. Seriously. Okay. And when I went to the mayor's office has 4 pillars, okay, like a cross. And one pillar is facing Highway 7. And the mayor before Don Cousins was Romans. I don't know if you know him. Mayor Romans. He'd been sitting in 3 terms, always with the back against the pillar. And eventually he died of back cancer, spine cancer.
Oh my gosh.
He did. So based on the birthday of Don Cousins, and based on the settings of the mayor's office, I turned him so he'll be backing on southwest and fronting northeast. And his health was great. It was a great mayor. He turned around Markham. And I told him he would have a safe mayory for 3 terms and retire after 3 terms. But he didn't. He won the 4th term. You know what happened? After he won the 4th term, both kidneys failed.
Oh. That sounds so bad.
Yeah, but then he had to retire halfway through. So Frank Capiti got in as the current mayor.
Okay.
And then Don Cousins went on for a few years. He only died a few years ago. Still not bad. Beautiful people. He and Frank are amazing mayors. They're among the greatest mayors I've seen.
So you've served the Markham mayor, several Markham mayors, it sounds like.
Yeah, and I did Feng Shui for some councillors too, but I couldn't mention names.
Of course. No, totally understand. Now, real estate is an area that is of great interest to myself and our audience. Can you give us some highlights about your predictions for the real estate market, specifically in Canada, of course?
Well, when I did my prediction for last year, that I did in 2019, I said by mid-July, by second half of the year, real estate would take off. And look at it, it did, regardless of the virus.
I know, it did.
And my prediction is for 2021, real estate is going to lead the road to recovery. Why? Because the number 6 also means mobilities, means moving, means traveling. So when people move, what do they want? They want houses.
That's true.
That means real estate will go crazy. So my prediction, my bold prediction is between 2021 and end of 2023, a lot of houses in GTA alone may shoot up as much as 50%.
50?
Yeah,
50?
That's correct.
That is crazy.
That's not crazy, that's low.
Well, you know what? Some of my agent partners and friends and colleagues are going to be very happy to hear that. I don't know about buyers, but agents and sellers are going to be very happy to hear that.
Yeah, but real estate would do well in general in Vancouver as well. Okay, for change. Yeah. Last year was terrible for Vancouver. So this year is a bit of a comeback.
Right. Okay. Yes. So it's more local, people moving more domestically than from international.
Yeah, not necessarily immigrants, because it's pretty hard to fly in Canada now.
Right.
But the local people want change anyways.
right,
Now,
right.
some of these major changes had to do with aging. Yeah, because
With
when
aging?
aging, people getting older,
Right,
live
right.
longer. You know what happened? Their knees don't listen. That means they want bungalows or they want condominiums. They
Right.
can no longer climb stairs like they used to be. So
Mm-hmm,
that's a
mm-hmm.
major shift.
Okay, so
So
you were predicting that condos are going to do well in 2021?
eventually, but
Yeah.
the bungalows would be the hot item. Two things are hot items, or three things. One is bungalows.
Mm-hmm.
Second is cottages. Third,
Mm,
warehouses.
right. Warehouses?
Yep.
Oh, why warehouses?
Years ago, about 5 years ago, I said Toronto warehouses would be a hot commodity. And those smart who listen to me would buy
Mm-hmm.
up warehouses. Today, they would make so much money. And look at that. You can't even buy one now. They are in hot demand. Why? Because of e-commerce,
Right. That's
logistics,
right.
logistics. And I
Right.
predicted that 5 years ago.
That's amazing, amazing. I wanted to ask you a question about something that I know that Asian people do specifically, is that just before Chinese New Year, they frantically clean their homes. They're tidying, cleaning, dusting. Like, what is the importance of that before Chinese New Year?
It's a custom. So to clean the house out, meaning to remove all the bad luck
Mm,
and to welcome positive energy in.
right.
Okay, but there's one more custom you didn't mention.
Oh, tell me.
On Chinese New Year night, you are not supposed to take a bath.
Which one?
Chinese New Year night, Eve, Chinese New Year
The
Eve.
eve?
Yeah,
The eve or the
Eve,
day?
Eve.
The eve. Oh,
You should
okay.
not take a shower. That means you carry whatever you have to the New Year. So you take a shower on New Year Day instead.
Oh, okay. So my mom always told me that it's from New Year's Day that you don't do that day because you want to keep all the New Year good luck.
Yeah. So there are different customs. In fact, it's very crazy. I don't know who created it. But the reality is, depends on which village you come from. They are all different.
So different villages, different beliefs,
So
I see.
I don't think
But
it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to be clean anyways.
okay, so you yourself don't believe in that custom.
Mainly because of money. They don't want to wash away the money. They want to carry the money to the next year. So it's
Yes,
not New
that
Year
is
Day,
true.
it's New Year Eve. You should not take a bath.
Okay, all right. Well, I have to change my custom this year then because usually I do that on New Year's Day, not New Year's Eve.
Actually, the Chinese New Year week goes for 2 weeks,
Yes,
from the 1st to the 15th, and different days have certain significance. Do you know the significance?
I don't.
Okay, now the first day, obviously Chinese New Year Day, which happens to be February 12th this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but the beginning of the New Year is the second day. Second day is
Okay,
called the opening of the New Year. Literally
okay.
speaking, opening of the New Year. But the funny thing is, the third day is called the day of arguments.
Oh, okay.
So you should listen more, talk less on the third day.
I see, I
Okay.
see.
Then it jumps to the seventh day. Seventh day of the Chinese New Year means everybody's birthday. Everyone you meet, you say happy birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, now you know that 7 days is very
Mm,
important. But the most important day is the 15th day, the last day of the Chinese New Year festival, because that's called, in the old days, it's called the Lantern Day, Lantern, Lantern.
mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, and in effect, it's called the Chinese Valentine Day, because traditionally that's a time when all these beautiful ladies, girls can come out, have fun, have parties, and meet the boys they like. The
Well,
day of freedom.
it sounds like we need to have our own 12 days of Chinese New Year song so that we remember what each day means or what each day represents and brings for us.
Yeah.
So, okay, so just one last question for you. What are some tips that you would like to offer for our audience for this coming Lunar New Year?
Number one, please exercise well. Learn do more Tai Chi, do more Qigong. In fact, I teach Qigong every Tuesday and Friday night, 9 to 11 p.m. for free. I can send you a link for that.
Oh, so you're doing that virtually now?
Virtually, unfortunately, people can't come to see me. So
Yes. No, please, actually do send me the link so that I can post
Zoom,
that.
It's on Zoom, absolutely no charge. And it's done in English, so everyone should understand.
Lovely.
Okay. And then two good exercise. And one more important thing, drink more Chinese tea.
Okay.
Because Chinese tea...
Green or black?
Both are good. Both are good.
Okay.
Because they have good ingredients to improve our immune system. And works as a good guardian against the COVID.
Okay. So it's like a purifier.
Yeah, like purifier, exactly. And it has many benefits. See, when we wash hands with these detergents or whatever hand cleaner, over time our hands become very dry. But if you wash your hands with Chinese tea, your hands don't get dry.
Oh, okay. I've never done that.
Yeah, and
that's
then remove the extra oil. Don't forget this virus, COVID, is covered by oil surface. So if you can destroy the oil covering, then you're clean. And tea does exactly that. Chinese tea remove the oil. Okay.
Great. So what's the third thing?
Third thing is I created something called the 4-fruit peel drink. That is lemon peel, orange peel, mandarin peel, and tangerine peel. So you can have half a peel or a whole peel, and you can blend all the peels together, or you can just put hot water in it and drink the water through all day long.
Oh, okay.
Or better still, instead of water, you put hot tea in it. So you have the best of both.
Oh, it sounds lovely. It sounds very
refreshing. And I'm sure that is a very powerful ingredient to protect yourself against things like the COVID.
Okay. All right. Yes, it sounds delicious. Actually, it sounds very refreshing.
The reason is because lemon is alkaline, so it will minimize our acidic intake and improve our alkaline body, which is very important to fight against diseases. Orange, mandarin, and tangerine, especially tangerine, have ingredients to protect the lungs, such as vitamin D. Okay, so if you have mucus, or if you talk too much, or if you have a cold or flu, these pills will work like magic to get rid of those.
Excellent. Do you have to squeeze it first, or you just put it in hot water?
Just put it in hot water, it will melt, or you can blend it so you can eat it too.
Okay, excellent. Yes, I guess once it's cut.
So those two ingredients hopefully can save many lives and make many of us healthier.
So that's lemon, orange, mandarin, and tangerine.
Exactly.
And are you drinking that yourself daily?
Occasionally. I'm too busy to do it, but occasionally, yes.
You're running around so much. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing some of your knowledge with us, with our audience as well. And if anybody is interested in reading Master Ng's entire 2021 prediction, it's quite long. It covers a gamut of topics. From health, wealth, love, politics, climate, etc., etc. Please visit his website at Paul Ng, that's PAULNG.com. And he has his calendar there where he gives talks and things like that as well. You can look up for that as well. And I'm going to go ahead and include the website at the end of the video and in the comment section as well, in case anybody wants it. And Master Ng, please make sure you send me the link to your Tai Chi class so that I'll include that as well.
We'll do
because
I'm
sure...
Qigong, not Tai Chi.
Oh, Qigong, okay.
Qigong.
So because I'm sure that some people would want to join that for sure. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And if I don't speak to you before or after that, Happy Chinese New Year. Best of luck, best of health, best of wealth, and prosperity for you in the new year. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Nina. Thank you all, and all the best to everybody, healthy and happy.
Yes.